film, was determined to find someone from the South who had not been in pictures before to play that role. And he toured the southern cities, and he came to my school in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was in the 5th grade, and he would go into each city, and he'd go to the Board of Education, identify himself, and say he wanted permission to go to the different grammar schools in the city, and if he saw anyone he liked, he wanted to talk to them. If he didn't, no one would ever know that he'd been there. And he came to my school in Nashville on a Friday afternoon, saw me, and the rest is history. I ended up going to California. I thought,
well, but wait, you get sent to the principal's office or something. I mean, that
yeah.
would always send shivers down my spine. I don't know about what kind of 10-year-old you were, but you know.
I was sent to the principal's office. They introduced themselves and didn't say who they were or anything. They just said, we'd like to come out to your house and take some pictures this afternoon. And I went home, told my mother that these strange men had come. And I didn't know who they were. And my sister came and said, well, they were building inspectors because they came to my room. And I thought, well, this is crazy. I'm not going to pursue that any further. And I left. And they came out, and I was gone. And they went away, and then they called my mother and said, can you get him home?
Yeah.
So she called and got me home, and then we talked a little bit about, was I interested in, and I'd ever read the Yearling, no, was I interested in acting? And of course, the strange thing is, I was interested in acting. I was in little community theater and, school plays, and I'd always had an interest in it. And anyway, we met for the next few days, and they said, we're moving on to Knoxville, and, you'll hear from us. We know the old saying, don't call us, we'll call you. Nothing's going to happen to that. And the next thing we know, the next Monday they called and said, be ready to go to California in a week.
I mean, if you just think for a second, pause, and think about what an incredibly different time this was. A couple of strange men want to come over, oh yeah, no problem. My goodness. And to think, I mean, my mind's still boggled. I mean, Clarence Brown, Garbo's favorite director. I mean, we've got, National Velvet, I mean, all the incredible films he did. And he's going to these schools in Nashville, practically like knocking on the door, but he knew what he wanted.
He was going really on the looks, and I looked like what he was looking for. It took, we started filming in April. The picture came out the following December. So it was almost 18 months for the time.
Well, who did you go to California with, and how did you get out there?
My father went out with me.
Okay.
We went out basically as a vacation. We thought, well, what is this? We're going to California to have a vacation. And finally, we never did test for it. And I ended up testing with people who they were trying to cast for the mother. Okay. So I was doing casting. I was in that, and Clarence said to my father, says, quit your job. He's got the job. He's got the role, and I'm the one who knows that. So I literally spent 18 months with Clarence Brown. Ended up making another picture of him a little bit later, Intruding the Dust, which I know that you've seen it out. It's about a William Faulkner story that was about race relations in Mississippi. About lynching.
That's a pretty big compliment that we have him, hire you again, for goodness sake.
Can I say one other thing? After the Yearling, I went to the MGM school for 5 years, and it was one of the most interesting times that I ever had. We went to school with Elizabeth Taylor, Jane Powell, and someone who's here today that I want to acknowledge, Margaret O'Brien.
Oh, there it is. Another one we can point out, which is not only gorgeous, but still looks like Margaret O'Brien.
I mean, still looks like
exactly.
That.
That's
and he was my first crush.
Oh. That's fabulous.
Anyway, it was a great experience. I spent 5 years at MGM. I ended up making 11 films in all. I made about 7 of them at MGM in 5 years. Everyone worked, as Margaret knows, everyone worked a lot. And then I left in 1950. The whole business changed, as you know.
Well, in the middle, early 50s.
TV came out. When I got there were 12 people at the MGM school. When I left, there were none. So it all okay. I moved back to Tennessee, went to school, and did work in the summer. And I made Rio Grande with John Wayne, where I played John Wayne's son, in that film. So I had what I consider to be really a wonderful career. I had a wonderful time. I don't regret leaving it. I've been reflecting on it because I'm basically trying to write a book. I'm trying to review all of this, so hopefully next year.
Okay.
It was
Rio
a great
Grande next
experience.
year, same place.
But the thing that really impresses me, and impressed me just to come home, is that it's one of those films that an actor only gets one chance in a lifetime, and that's when you're in every scene. I mean, the whole scene is revolving.
Well, you're carrying the movie. I mean, it's your story.
It was
through your eyes.
Until I saw it today.
Yeah.
That was that. But
Well, that's good in a way. That means you didn't sort of feel that pressure every day. Or you felt some pressure. But,
well,
you know, to
there was
carry
a lot,
it like
there
that.
was a lot of pressure.
Yeah, okay.
It
The
was very-
professionalism that was demanded of a non-professional is pretty amazing.
It was a movie that was very, very difficult to do because you were working with animals that you cannot train. And people said, what was it like working with Gregory Peck? It was unbelievable. He was the most generous, calm. I never heard him ever get angry about anything.
Wow.
And normally in a scene like when I did the Rio Grande thing, John Ford would make a shot, do it like 3 times at the most. The average take in this film was 20. And the most we ever had was 150 times. And that was when we were waiting for the deer to follow. When you're running, like going to the forest house, and the deer had to come behind you, 149 times the deer wouldn't follow. So there was a lot of pressure to always do it right, because if the deer behaved, then you didn't want to, screw up the scene. But it was a very, very most difficult year and a half I ever spent when I was making films, and everything else was a piece of cake.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. You gotta look at it that way. I also want to mention that Claude has several children, but 2 of whom are about to graduate. The last 2 are about to graduate from college. So I think it's definitely the time you can celebrate. No more tuition, and we'll go write the book. Okay, that's the.
That's good. Anyway, it's been great coming down here to see the films and to see
the best audience ever, right, guys? I mean, they know their stuff.
The audience is so knowledgeable, and it's really quite heartwarming for me to be here and to be really appreciated for what we've done. And I think everyone feels that way who's here.
Well, you're definitely appreciated. I'm getting the high sign 6 ways from Sunday over there. So thank you so much for being with us, and thank you all.
Thank you.